When Hurricane Ian hit Southwest Florida, I knew there were going to be a ton of properties to hit the market, and that day has finally come. Today we're seeing so many homes hit the market with flooding damage caused by Hurricane Ian surge waters, and the one right behind me was recently listed for $36 million. But is it worth the $36 million? I'll leave that up to you to decide at the end of this video when we dive deep into this one. But before that, we have two other properties that we're going to check out that could be good deals or maybe not. We'll dive deep into the numbers of those as well to see if there's any deals to be had. Okay guys, so we're here at the first house. This, remember, is land value only, but it's being offered at $400,000. But I was curious, I want to see what you get for $400,000, so we're going to take a look inside. So come on. All right, as you can see, the walls have been cut out about 4 feet high, and that's because the insurance companies kind of wanted you to do that. That's why a lot of people here, actually, you're going to see a lot of homes that look like this. But remember, 1,400 square feet is what this house is composed of. No basements for all you Northeasterners, and there's nothing up here. And I can touch the ceiling, that's not a good thing. There's probably nothing up here but storage space up above. But here we are in the living room, right? Not much to write home about. And here we're in a sunken kitchen, if you guys follow me this way. Ooh, there we are. It's a pretty big step. This would be a nice place, and you can hook it up pretty nice, pretty easily, quickly. But not at that price of $400,000. We'll do the numbers later. I'm going to show you guys from the office what this property probably should go for. Another thing is that this home is in one of the lowest lying parts of town. Right, we're almost at like this most southern part of the city. So this place tends to flood a lot. It's very flood prone. So this is definitely gonna have to be rebuilt with higher structure. So let's go ahead and show you the other part of the house and we jump into the backyard, because you're not gonna wanna miss that, because the backyard, that's where all the problems came from. Here's one of the bedrooms, and then you have a Jack and Jill bathroom, which means that you can either go from one bedroom into the bathroom, which is still intact, all travertine, if you guys are interested. And then you have the other bedroom here. And we're done. That's the house. Good thing about it is it swings either way. The gate, not me. Good news though, we do have coconut tree back here. If you guys want fresh coconuts, you got them right here. There's a baby one. All right, so as we're walking back here in the backyard, I'm noticing that the ground is very, very soft, and that's because there's a very high water table here. We're very close to the Gulf, and right over that building right there is where the water most likely came in from. Now, will it happen again? That's anyone's guess. If I was looking at this home, I definitely wouldn't keep it the way it sits right now. I would look to elevate this home, because when water does come this way, it's going to take everything with it. So the newer homes on this block and the homes that have been renovated in this block, they've all built up. All right, so now let's break down the numbers to see if this house is worth the $400 or if it's completely off the mark. I said the house was 1,400 square feet. Actually, the house is 920 square feet. The 1,400 square foot house is actually the comp that I researched down the street before going to the property. So my apologies for that. But while we're on that topic, the house that is the comp is on the market right now for $700,000. And it's a 1,400 square foot house, which means it costs about $250 per square foot to build, more or less. That's what it costs to build a new home. And if you factor the 1,400 square feet times the $250, then that means you're going to spend roughly about $350,000 to build that same home at the location where we saw today's house. But the problem is that the house is listed for $400,000. The house that we saw today is $400,000. So if we spend another $350 on it to build a home, not counting soft costs or closing costs on the way to build it, then that means we'd be underwater about $50,000 if the home that's listed right now for $700,000 actually sells for $700,000. So we definitely can't pay $400,000. But how much can we pay? Well, we could look at it from two different approaches. If we're an investor that's looking to flip the property, if we want to make like a healthy 15% return on our money, that would be roughly $100,000 if you take 15% of $700,000. If we want to make that kind of money, well, the most we can pay for this house is somewhere around $250,000. Okay? Now, there's another strategy out there which is called the BRRRR strategy. I think you guys have heard about that before. It's very popularized through Bigger Pockets. It's basically buy, renovate, refinance, and repeat. Okay, so that's the strategy I love the best. And if we follow that strategy, what we can pay for this home is, if it does appraise for $700,000 after being rebuilt, then the most we can pay for it is 80% of $700,000. Why 80%? Because 80% would allow us to refinance with a bank, which the bank would give us an 80% loan on the $700,000, which means that the bank would cash us out about $560,000. So if we have a number of $560,000 and we back out how much it costs us to build the property, which is $350,000, then that means the most we can pay is about $210,000 if we're looking to do the BRRRR strategy. This kind of market that we're heading into right now, you're better off being safe than sorry. If you guys want to learn how to get yourself also in a position of buying these types of homes, I suggest you look at the auctions. And you're lucky because I'm creating a program that should be done very soon on how to master the auction process. Either whether you're doing an auction online or if you're doing an auction in person at a sheriff sale. And I'll tell you right now, it is not easy to learn, and no one's willing to share this information with you. But if you guys want to learn how to become a successful investor at sheriff sale auctions, well, you're going to want to also sign up for that sign-up sheet that will give you a 30% discount. So go ahead and use that now. All right, so our second house is the beach is right here, but the house, unfortunately, is not on the beach itself. It's not waterfront. It's actually one house removed, but I want to show you how close it actually is. Come on, follow me. All right, so that's the beach. That's where we would go when we want to have a casual stroll after evening dinner or something. This is a road that sometimes people park here. You have to be a resident of Naples to be able to park here. So for the most part, it's private parking unless you live in Naples. Then you can park on this block. So you're not going to get that much traffic. And the walk from the beach to the house is not even, maybe, how long has it been? About 25 seconds, 30 seconds, and we're here. This is the house. So this house here is 0.28 acres. That's how big this property is. Again, remember, this house is just land value only. The house probably doesn't have any value at all because it's probably going to have to be demolition. And take a guess how much they're asking. $9.6 million for 0.28 acres, like a quarter of an acre. Recently, a property that's half an acre, right around the corner from here, sold for $16 million. Granted, this home was probably built mid-century, probably somewhere in the 60s or 70s, and by now it should have probably been renovated or rebuilt. So this is going to be the golden opportunity. So when you do rebuild this, remember, you're probably going to have to keep up with the Joneses. We got this house next door that's like 3 or 4 levels high. I'll show you guys a better look at it in a second. And you got this one across the street. Take a look at that. That is gorgeous. It looks like something straight out of like Venice, Italy. Now this house here is one of those old ranches, and you can see here that it's a very beautiful home, even the way it sits. But unfortunately, if we ever get a hurricane again, we're going to get major damage once again. This home probably had water probably above the ceiling, above the roof of this house. And a lot of vegetation here probably die and wash away. But the stuff that's left here is probably pretty hurricane proof, so you're not going to have any issues, keeping them alive. But what I would do here is I would come in here and raise this property up, make sure that you have at least a good 12 feet before you even build your first level. And then you guys can build a dream house. Something with beautiful views right to the Gulf Ocean. Because right now, the way the house sits, you can't see anything besides your bushes in the front of the yard. I would definitely take advantage of that height, have a beautiful view to Gulf. Okay guys, that's house number 2, and just be warned, there's going to be a lot of construction going on around here. As you can hear right now, there's a jackhammer in the background. This is going to be going on for probably years. But if that's worth it to you, let's go ahead and break down some numbers and see if this house has any value at the price it's listed at. Okay, so now let's break down this property. I found down the road not one but 2 comps, 2 properties that are being sold side by side, each for $8 million, or as a total, because it's a combo, of $16 million. That tells us that each square foot is worth about $734. Those properties are also one house removed from the beach, just like this. So if we use the $734 a square foot factor times the 0.28 acres that we have right here, that gives us a price of about $8.95 million. The home is being offered at 9.6, so not too bad, not a shabby deal. I'm sure there's still some wiggle room in there if we really want to negotiate, but it does make sense for the money they're asking. Okay, so now the property that you've all been waiting for, the $36 million beauty right here on the Gulf of Mexico. Now, is this place worth the $36 million? We're gonna look at that in just 1 second. But before we jump into that, I just gotta let you know, this is just land value alone. The home, the structure, has to be torn down so it doesn't even have any value. Yes, you could try to renovate what's here now, but after you spend a certain amount of money, the city is going to make you use the new zoning laws, because if a hurricane ever comes again, the city can't approve a structure like this because it's not going to hold up. So you're going to have to build up if you're going to build anything new here. So if we just look at the land value alone, there was recently a sale for $18 million. Well, it's under contract at the second, and it's half an acre. This being twice the square footage, that would probably put this place right around $36 million. Now, that same property had 100 linear feet of beachfront property. This one has 150 linear feet of beachfront property. So if you use those numbers, it would put each linear foot at about $180,000 per linear foot. That would give this home a price of about $27 million. So I would use that argument plus the argument of the square footage, blend 2 together, and maybe try to make an offer of $31 million, $32 million, I don't know. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe it's just an approach that I would take as an investor or a buyer that would want to buy this property. But anyone who would buy this property probably wouldn't have to worry too much about negotiating. They just write a check. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think this is worth $36 million? Do you think any property on the Gulf is worth $36 million after what we saw during Hurricane Ian? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it, so leave it down below. But if you were looking at this property or at any property whatsoever from the perspective of an investor, you have to break down all of the costs, all the associated costs, from the closing costs when you buy it to all the way the closing costs when you sell it or refinance it. And if you guys want a free calculator and learn how to do that, well, check out this video right here where I explain to you exactly how to do just that. I'll see you over there in just a few seconds. Thank you guys for watching. I love you, and I will see you next time.